Yunnan floods, where torrential rains from September the 10th to the 11th trigger widespread devastation. On September the 10th to the 11th, 2025, Yunnan province in southwest China was hit by its worst flooding in years. Non-stop monsoon-driven downpours turned mountains, valleys, and towns into raging torrents. Roads were washed out, power was cut, and tens of thousands of residents found themselves in crisis.
本音频由魔音工坊 AI 生成。
Geographic vulnerability made the disaster worse. Yunnan's rugged terrain, steep mountains and deep valleys, combined with scattered rural settlements, made the flooding especially destructive. Within hours, rainwater cascaded down slopes, swelling streams and tributaries. By late evening on the 10th, small rivers had burst their banks, submerging nearby villages. By dawn on the 11th, the disaster escalated, bridges collapsed, farmland was submerged, and riverside homes were swept away by mud-laden floodwaters.
本音频由魔音工坊 AI 生成。
Emergency rescue and mass evacuations. Local authorities and emergency crews mobilized quickly. Firefighters, medical teams, and rescuers worked through the night. Dozens of communities were ordered to evacuate, and thousands of residents were moved to schools, gyms, and government buildings converted into shelters. Boats, helicopters, and heavy machinery operated around the clock, often under extremely dangerous conditions. According to official reports, hundreds of lives were saved thanks to the relentless efforts of rescue workers.
本音频由魔音工坊 AI 生成。
Infrastructure and communication breakdowns. Landslides cut off mountain roads, leaving some villages isolated and waiting for food and medical supplies. Widespread blackouts left hospitals and shelters running on backup generators. Disrupted communications made rescue work even harder. Yet amid hardship, people showed resilience. Neighbors helped one another. Volunteers handed out food and clothing, and local officials worked side by side with residents to restore order.
本音频由魔音工坊 AI 生成。
Economic and social impact. The floods hit agriculture particularly hard. Rice paddies and cornfields sat underwater for hours, while livestock and grain stores suffered heavy losses. Experts warn that local markets and rural economies will be under severe strain in the coming weeks. In response, the government released emergency funds, distributed drinking water, and deployed mobile clinics to prevent disease outbreaks. The psychological toll has been just as heavy for many families. The floods destroyed not only homes and belongings, but also their sense of security. Children were carried to safety by rescuers. Elders were helped to evacuate, and families sought comfort in crowded shelters. Yet amid the tragedy, moving scenes emerged. Rescuers wading through chest-deep waters with survivors on their backs. villagers sharing meager rations with strangers, and communities bound together by an extraordinary sense of solidarity.
本音频由魔音工坊 AI 生成。
As waters recede, rescue work has shifted into a stabilization and recovery phase. Road clearance and water supply restoration are now top priorities. Mobile base stations, emergency broadcasts, and satellite phones are gradually reconnecting cut-off areas. Volunteer mapping teams are using drones and satellite data to chart the damage, guiding evacuation routes and supply drops. School playgrounds have been turned into dual-use sites for daytime refuge and nighttime shelter. Psychologists and social workers are running group sessions to help families manage stress and identify high-risk individuals. Agricultural specialists are documenting seed and equipment losses, promoting replanting and soil restoration, and prioritizing quick-yield crops like vegetables and pigs to stabilize local markets. To reduce the risk of secondary disasters, authorities have installed more landslide monitoring posts and rain gauges, combining human patrols with technology-based alerts. Experts recommend incorporating sponge city features, strengthening flood channels, and reinforcing schools during reconstruction. They also call for transparent disaster assessments and traceable relief spending, ensuring public donations and government funds are accountable and effective.
本音频由魔音工坊 AI 生成。
Long-term challenges and outlook. Experts warn that as climate change intensifies, extreme rainfall events like this may become more frequent. Yunnan's landslide-prone terrain, coupled with local deforestation, further weakens natural defenses. Scholars and officials are calling for stronger levees, better drainage systems, more effective early warning mechanisms, and smarter land use planning. By the evening of the 11th, rescue efforts were still underway. Soldiers and volunteers cleared debris under floodlights and built temporary flood defenses. At shelters, people from all walks of life provided hot meals, medicine, and blankets to help survivors endure the hardship. The Yunnan floods will be remembered not only for their shocking destruction, but also for the courage and unity they revealed. The road to recovery will be difficult, but with collective determination, local communities are expected to emerge stronger than before.
本音频由魔音工坊 AI 生成。我们家车给冲跑了。
Thank you for watching. If you found this report helpful, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you won't miss future disaster updates. Some visuals in this program are for illustration only and not from the actual scene. We'll see you in the next episode. Stay tuned and most importantly, stay safe.